Okay, so chapter 5, emotional energy transforming threat into challenge. I love the title all by itself because we're going to deepen our capacities in the emotional source if we are actually seeing things more as a challenge to be defeated versus a threat to be killed, because threats are going to absolutely leave us in a negative state and we're not going to have any emotional energy. So very important thing. He gives 4 muscles. If you think about a muscle, the muscle allows you to lift things, to get work done. So in the emotional level, there are 4 muscles here. There's self-confidence, self-control, social skills, and empathy, almost as a barometer to see where you're at emotionally. He talks then about positivity. Positivity is super important because of any negativity in the emotional source, you're done. There's no energy to be had. So positivity is a prerequisite, if you will, for this source. And so how do you cultivate that? He says that the greatest way to cultivate positivity is to do enjoyable activities, prioritize enjoyable activities. So the more depth you have in your activities, the more return you're going to get. So I can go on a walk, which is good, it's enjoyable, but I can go on to a museum or amusement park, and that's going to even give me more positivity. So he says prioritize that throughout the week and even the day to be doing enjoyable things. There are storms, he calls them involuntary storms, that absolutely kill our emotions. So negative things, trials, tests, temptations that come in our lives that we can't control. We just need to learn to transform those threats into challenges. That's what we need to be working on. Let's get into the real good stuff in this chapter. Let's see, depth in relationships. So if you think about renewal, remember we talk about stress and then renew and recovery. Stress and renewal, stress and recovery, same difference. How do we do that in the emotional level? I love this. Depth in relationships. Relationships are the key to, that makes me mad. Relationships are the key to doing this. So we need to have those relationships that we can be ourselves, that we can build deep relationships with people so that we can restore our emotional energy. He says that this is a great challenge, evidently, to be vulnerable with people, to be in serious relationship with brothers and sisters is not easy at all. So a lot of people are failing in this regard, but that's why their emotions are so off key. So cultivating depth in relationships is how we renew ourselves. Now, how do we expand? How do we stress out the emotional source here? The expanding, this is that self-confidence part. We want to build our confidence. Ed Milet and those boys talk a lot about this. We want to build rituals. We want to build rituals that help us grow. So things, one example in the book that I can think of was a woman. She was very insecure about talking to her clients about her vision. She was just very insecure about their response. So what she did is she intentionally measured it and said, every single client I have, I'm going to tell them my vision no matter what. And when she did that, she was beginning to build this confidence. And she also had like a little PV statement. She had a PV statement that she reinforced that she was confident, that she was powerful, that she was this. And so that thought multiplied by that action led to a transformation and led to growth. So that's how we deepen the emotional capacities. Let's see. Also, empathy. This is just a note that he puts in there. Empathy, building rituals that surround us around people and that allow us to listen to people, build our social skills around people, and just loving people is absolutely important to growing this energy source as well. So I thought that was pretty good, just rituals. Like I will talk to 3 students a day. I will go here. I will go there. I will let my direct report come into the office and sit down and talk every single day. Very important stuff. And then the last here, which is just an absolute phenomenal concept. I'm still struggling with it a little bit because it's like, wow, this is, how would you even practice this? So it's a concept, even in the key terms here, it's anakoluthia. Anakoluthia is the term that the Greeks came up with this, and it was the mutual entailment of virtues. No virtue is a virtue by itself. So I'll explain what that means. He says that this is the best way to cultivate energy in your emotional source. The best way is to look at your emotions that you're strong in. So I'm very I'm very honest. I'm very honest. I'm just, as an example, I'm very honest. Then look at the opposite virtue. So honesty, compassion would be the opposite virtue there. Most people are not compassionate if they're very honest. They're very straightforward and they'll tell you the truth. He says to value that opposite virtue is by far the most important thing you can do. To me, this is walking in other people's shoes. To me, this is balancing out who I am. So if I'm very disciplined, then I will not be naturally very spontaneous. But to value that spontaneity in others, but also in my own life, is absolutely essential and very important to cultivating this energy. So there was also a couple case studies that were just so good. I mean, I would encourage you guys to go check these out. It's all in the outline. Like there was a positivity case study done with nuns, where the nuns that were more positive in their writing, they actually lived longer. Positivity in sports. If you're more positive, there's a guy that was more positive than this negative guy, and he proves that it led to longevity in their sports. Just all kind of good stuff. There was a friendship study where Gallup was proving that people that had better work productivity also had a close friend at work. So just really good chapter, really good stuff. But that's enough for now. So let's move on to chapter 6.